Welcome to the Road Dog Project. This is Don Muzquiz and my canine co-host Leon. Thanks to celebrity coaches, we're hitting the road and talking to the pros that make concerts and live events happen. If you'd like to support the channel, we'd appreciate a big thumbs up, and please enjoy the episode. Today from Atlanta, Georgia, our guest is commonly known as a keyboard player, but he is so much more. The wizard Reggie Jones. From a very young age, he was dubbed Wizard because of his mastery as a young musician. This multi-instrumentalist, producer, musical director, and artist has been a moving force in music in the Pittsburgh area, in the Atlanta scene, and touring worldwide in R&B, pop, jazz, and funk for over 3 decades. Just some of the artists that he's performed, recorded, and toured with are TLC, Tony Braxton, Fantasia, New Edition, Usher, SOS, In Vogue, Goody Mob, Outkast, and Justin Bieber. From the city that produced several NFL legends comes this legend in music. From Aliquippa, Pennsylvania, he is Reginald Wizard Jones. Thanks for being here.
Man, it's a pleasure to be here. Thanks for calling, man. It really was. It's an honor.
Oh, it's an honor to have you here. I mentioned the legends of the NFL that have come out of your hometown. And so very few music icons, but I did see that Henry Mancini's
from my hometown, yes.
Was there any other notable names in music?
In music, they're behind the scenes. And I guess within the last 10, 20 years have showed up there in the managerial, those leagues. Not nothing as artists or anything of that nature.
I got you.
But we've had in the Pittsburgh area quite a few.
Oh, for sure. We were talking about the bus. It's been a while. When's the last time you were on a bus?
Oh my God, it's been quite a few years.
Oh yeah. You probably did a lot of flying.
Because a lot of fly dates, but for the most part, as a tour, it's been a few years.
Yeah.
Including the last year and some change with the pandemic and everything.
And do you prefer flying over the bus?
No, I love the bus.
Yeah, and you told me that you normally kind of sit over in this part.
Yeah, that's my seat
that's
on
seat?
Every tour that I've ever been on since the early 90s.
And I would imagine everybody else on the bus knows that's your seat.
Yeah, if my guys, the guys that I know normally, it's not my seat, but I get in, I sit down, and pretty much until it's time to work, that's where I'm at.
Awesome. So a little bit of backstory is that we toured alongside each other. You were, I believe, with Johnny Gill. We were on a Charlie Wilson tour, which you've worked for him as well.
Yep.
And I was with Fantasia, which you've done some stuff with her as well. But I was going through some old emails recently. Your name popped up. We had exchanged emails back in 2011 when you were a musical director of the Soul Train Awards.
Oh,
and Natalie
really?
Cole, I was working with Natalie Cole, and she was doing a performance.
Yeah, that's right. I remember that.
And but you talked to so many people, and we haven't had this much exchange personally.
Exactly. Yeah. But this is cool.
Absolutely. Well, thank you for doing it. I'm glad to be able to come around Atlanta and see some of the sites, and hopefully we pass by some of the things and places that you have left your mark. And if you see something, point it out. You got to meet Leon, my co-host. He's a little bit of a slacker, but tell me about your animals.
My animals, I'm a dog, man. Put it this way, I'm a big dog, man.
Okay.
I'm not a little dog.
There you go.
That's not for guys.
Yeah.
You can't have a voice like mine and a deal like mine, and you walk around with a dog up here in your hand. No.
Can't do it.
Give me a German Shepherd, Rottweiler. Yeah. But I've had them all my life, mostly Shepherds, but my adult life has been Rottweilers.
Okay.
And unfortunately, I don't keep them around as much anymore because my wife's allergic to pet dander.
Oh, wow.
She loves dogs, but
no, I know.
The sinuses and the sneezing and the investment in Kleenex tissues is just during this time. But I love them and would love to keep them with me at all times.
Yeah. Let's talk a little bit about we're right now, hopefully in a place that we're getting close. We're getting closer to getting back to normal. But in this time period of the pandemic, what's some of the things that you were able to do or that you've done that you probably wouldn't have done otherwise?
My life hasn't changed really much. After being on the road for so long and doing this for a living for many years, I enjoy staying at home.
Yeah. But you stay active in your music one way or the other.
Yeah, I have a couple of studios here. One, of course, in my home, and one down by the Atlanta airport that I co-own with. I work with William Bell, who's a Stax legend. He was like the first artist on Stax. Solo artist signed to Stax record way back in the 60s. So between the studio and my kitchen, I'm good to go.
I usually ask people what they might have done had they not gotten into the music business. But I don't know that, from what I've learned, I feel like there wasn't even a thought. I mean, from the very early age, you were kind of surrounded with it.
Yes, my parents were musicians. So you saying going into having other outlets, I don't know what that is.
This is what we do.
Exactly. I was born into this. Started playing guitar. I actually started on guitars. Most people don't know that.
Right.
My expertise came from somewhere else. And they just know me as a keyboard player. And with my bands growing up, we had a guitar. Well, that was the Earth, Wind & Fire. You had two guitar players, that type of thing. So when it got to the point where we needed keyboard players, we didn't have to look for one. I was already there.
But I would imagine when you're young, too, it's not easy to carry around a keyboard or a piano or an organ.
Exactly. My father was a B3 player, so...
There you go.
No, that wasn't going to work.
Now, you mentioned your dad. Your dad had groups and quartets and things like that rehearsed in the house. That's how you kind of surrounded. What's the very earliest memory that you can recall where, just
say coming up with him, like I said, you always saw that or heard it in the house. But my dad used to do a kind of like a little festival in our town every year in our community that he would play, and I would go up and play guitar with him. I was 5, but it was for the Elks Club, so there's the bar in there. That's where the grown folks do their thing. So on his breaks, I would play organ, and no one could see me, so they're wondering where all of this music is coming from.
I got you.
And excuse me, it was me just up there, just being a kid,
passing the time on the break.
That's all it was. It's just something that I always enjoyed. It wasn't. I wasn't forced into it. My parents supported it when they saw what it was, and that's kind of where it comes from, man.
Now, when you were playing on his breaks up there, you started getting some attention?
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
And that's kind of how my nickname came about.
Okay.
That boy sure, that lady had quite a few too many. But she kept calling, she said, that boy sure is a wizard. And that's kind of where it came from, my nickname. And the guys in my band back in the day got a hold of that, and they thought that was great.
Yeah.
They said, that's your name.
There you go. You're a wizard from then on. Your dad's name was George.
Yes.
George Jones. And he was playing in the 50s and 60s. I would imagine that he might have got confused with another George Jones.
I confused him with another George Jones. I would see the name on the... Daddy has an album.
That doesn't look like him.
That's not Daddy on the cover.
Wow. So they would rehearse in your house and things like that. And so did you ever play? You were playing with a lot of adults, probably.
Yeah.
You start out. That's the way you got to get going. And then moving on from there, going into grade school and things like that.
Just a couple of kids in the neighborhood, knew that I played. You crank up the B3 in the middle of the afternoon or the summer, all the kids outside playing. Which my mother, she didn't mind, but she hated it because at the end of the day, when I would stop playing, there would be fingerprints where the kids would be on the screen door looking in, and it was like that all my life. I would play.
Yeah.
they would gather,
Yeah.
and then sometimes I go out and play football. But other than that,
Yeah.
like I said, they didn't mind. It kept us out of trouble.
Sure.
So I started with a couple of kids. Hey man, I hear you play. I play guitar, and man, I got a bass. I'm playing sax. You know, in school I got a saxophone. And the kids in my neighborhood, and we just came together and just started jamming at the house. That's how I formed the bands. That's how we formed ourselves. It gave us something in common that kept us out of trouble, and our parents didn't mind that at all.
Keep you busy.
Yeah.
So, in high school, marching band, all that kind of stuff. What instruments did you play in?
Anything I wanted to whenever I walked in the room.
Okay.
If I felt like playing flute that day, I'd sit down and somebody would give me a flute.
Okay.
But there was always extra instruments in the band room. My band teacher started me in band when I started playing brass when I was in 5th grade, when I was eligible to start playing. And he's still one of the best friends I have, not just a teacher. He was still is a very good friend of mine.
Yeah.
He lobbied for me to become inducted in the Beiber County Hall of Fame, Music Hall of Fame, Pittsburgh Hall of Fame. Yeah, there's quite a bit of stuff that they lobbied for me.
Your time in your high school band, you ended up being
drum major.
Drum major.
Mm-hmm.
So was this kind of starting some of your role as a musical director, sort of taking over?
Pretty much. Throughout high school, I scored a lot of stuff for the band, for the play in the stands, the stuff that my band was doing on stage. I was at home. Mom would go, "You got homework?" Nope. If you got homework, I'm gonna hit you in the head, you know. And you over there writing out this music. So it was every day. There was score sheets all over the kitchen table.
So you were doing that for the high school band, and you're doing it for your own bands.
Yeah, and so that's how it came about. It's not in the leadership, but it's just something I enjoyed to do. I wasn't looking to be a leader. People, I guess, and still just the other day, always recognize me in that leadership role.
In that position,
Yeah. High school was the same way. When I got in there, my band teacher, they noticed it. My teachers noticed it. That, you know, if I wasn't in a health class or a history class, they hit the intercom. Mr. Romeo, is Reg there? Yeah, he's up here. Okay. I wasn't skipping school. I just didn't go to class because they knew that's not where my interests were. They were influential in pushing me into where they knew I was going to wind up. So I respect to all my teachers that did that for me. I appreciate it. That helped a lot, man.
Tell me about Melvin Steals.
The maestros. At the time when I was growing up in school, he was an English teacher, and we didn't. I never had Mr. Steals for
as a teacher.
But we knew of each other. You know, the town is that small, and actually, my first band, he was the one that named our band Rare Experience.
Yeah, that's what I understand.
And I thought that was pretty cool. And then I found out Maestro in lyric was him and his twin brother. Who were the writers of Could It Be I'm Falling in Love for the Spinners? Was it Honeybee for Gloria King? There was a couple other hits that they had penned. Once again, there was someone in a teacher role that understood, who was actually a part of the business, that understood even before I did, mentally where I was going to be.
So Rare Experience, the band, from what I've learned just recently, I mean, we could probably have a whole episode on that band.
Oh yeah.
But I wanna touch on that a little bit. But how old were you when you started in Rare Experience?
How old are you when you're in 6th grade, 5th, 6th grade?
You asked for math.
Exactly, which I was not good at. I said I was in the band room.
But you were that young.
Yes.
And now you started that young. And I understand you were the youngest in the bunch.
Absolutely.
Okay. And I know you had some members come and go and things like that, but there was always around 11 guys and girls.
There was quite a few of us. But that's what bands were. LTD, Earth, Wind & Fire, they were large bands.
Yeah.
Bands were the thing, and
Oh, yeah.
more of them,
Yeah.
it was better.
But like I say, that band made a pretty big impact and sort of kind of dominated that area there with the
Absolutely.
kind of stuff you did
Yeah.
with the scene, and to the point that you figured out, well, we got to take this somewhere else.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Is there any other musicians or anybody else that came from that scene?
That area, yeah.
That scene that are around. doing
That's
their
still
thing?
around, yes,
Yeah.
absolutely. There was Donnie Iris,
Oh, okay.
the Grenadi brothers, who are still up and at it, man. They're still doing their thing. They're like brothers to me, man.
Yeah.
They're the Grenadi brothers, and when I first saw them, I was like, wow, a band of just brothers, and one cousin, he was a drummer, but they were absolutely great back then, and I'm like,
That's it.
we're gonna be like that. And then all of a sudden they started to blow up. They got a record deal. They toured with Van Halen, which was one of my favorite bands, back in the day.
But I always like to ask about those acts or those concerts or those shows that you saw that impacted you in a way that where you.
The shows that impacted me, of course, I grew up in, my father was a jazz musician, jazz organ, so that was in my house a lot.
Yeah.
My mom enjoyed everything. They both enjoyed all kinds of music, so it didn't matter.
Yeah.
Country and Ray Charles, I was influenced by Ray Charles a lot, indirectly, didn't realize it.
Sure.
Just because they played
It's there all the time.
Yeah. My father loved horn players, so Coltrane, Miles Davis, those cats were in my house all the time.
Yeah.
And me, I was James Brown.
Okay.
So that was the cat that did it for me.
Yeah.
And when people say Prince, I go,
Yeah,
there's
but
Sly and the Family Stone, who integrated musicians of different cultures and white, black, the whole 9 yards, and made great, what I think is still great universal music. Well, all music is universal. It touches somebody somewhere.
Yeah.
No matter whether you speak the language or not. Pick up an instrument and you'll get the attention, and you'll be able to speak to anybody anywhere in the world. For
sure. And you mentioned James Brown and Sly. I don't think they would have been a Prince
absolutely
without
not.
those guys.
No. Wouldn't have been a lot of artists
They
without those innovators, man.
Exactly. They impacted those. And so when you're a young boy and being able to witness that kind of stuff and hear that kind of stuff.
Man, that was our video back in the day. I would get I would cut grass or, get my weekly allowance for my chores or whatever. I saved my money. I went and bought records.
Yeah.
I went and bought records.
So your house is full of vinyl?
All the time. Man, my vinyl collection was insane.
Yeah, I'll bet.
Because every week when I would get my little money from cutting the neighbor's grass, I was going down to the store to get records. Then I had a cousin in New York who owned several record stores up in the Bronx.
Yeah.
So in the summer when we go there to visit family, that was my one trip.
Yeah.
I took an extra suitcase and I could go up and pick out whatever I wanted to and bring it home.
Yeah.
Yeah, like I said, with those influences, growing up with James, that's who I wanted to be. And then one of my first concerts was James Brown.
Yeah. Holy moly.
When I actually, you saw him on TV, of course, but when I saw him live, there was absolutely no turning back for me. There's what I need to be.
Yeah. Before moving on a little bit more on Rare Experience, how long did that run go before you guys decided to take it to Atlanta? How many years do you think?
Well, you know what? We had talked about the move. We had started recording in South Carolina. One of the members' cousin owned a recording studio in South Carolina.
Yeah.
So during the summers, we would go down. Me and him did a lot of the writing for the band. So he said, my cousin owns a studio, man. We save our money. We do, we can go down. We can do X amount of hours, and we can go and record these songs.
Yeah.
Me, I had two tape players at the house. By the time I finished the song, I did was nothing but tape hiss. But it was great. I got it done.
Yeah.
So that's how it started. We would come down to South Carolina to record. And I think I was a junior in high school.
Yeah.
The machines went down. And the guy that designed the studio was from Atlanta. He came up, drove up to Spartanburg to fix the machines, to calibrate the machines and stuff.
Right.
He liked what we were doing. He said, man, if y'all want to, it's going to be a while. Don't want you to waste your summer. If you want to, come on down and finish recording this at my studio. No charge. This is good stuff. Somebody needs to hear it.
Yeah.
I have some friends in the music industry that once you finish, I'll be more than happy to introduce you to and pass this music along to. And that's how I was in high school.
Yeah.
And they embraced us, and then we're gonna move there. So we met with a few people, some attorneys and stuff like that here. We had some insights to MCA Records at the time, and he kept saying, man, look, this is about to become the New York and Los Angeles of the South for R&B, because Nashville already had that within the country movement. So when he said, you got everybody's going to be coming here to record. We got a lot of great acts that are already here. And the crazy part about that is, fast forward 20 years, those acts that are from here, Brick, SOS Band, Cameo, all of those groups I'm working with. Yeah.
And they're still around, still doing it.
Absolutely. So that's the wonderful thing about that. So that's kind of what brought us here.
Right. So I know that Rare Experience had a few potential record deals. So on the table.
Man, who you been talking to, man?
I've been stalking you, man.
Man, I see.
But all that was happening here in Atlanta after you got everything recorded?
Well, we were actually up for one quite a while back in the day when I was back in Pittsburgh.
Okay.
Back in Aliquippa. Here's a crazy thought about that.
Yeah.
We were up for a deal. I was in school. We was up for a deal with Solar Records.
Okay.
And another group came along and took that deal because they were willing to, of course they were older than us, we were kids. They were willing to go to LA and sleep on the doorsteps of Solar.
Oh, wow.
That group happened to have been Lakeside, which my cousin was the keyboard player, the original keyboard player for Lakeside. I'm like, it's in the family, and I didn't mind. But, we knew we had that was their deal. It was, obviously it wasn't for us. We had a little bit more growing to do, and a lot of people think when you miss an opportunity, that's the end of the world. No, there's a force that just moved that opportunity out of the way because it wasn't yours. But you know what though, is for those who want instant gratification, I think it's more disappointing for them. For those who have a mission, there's an ultimate goal for this, and you don't intentionally have to have a goal. My goal is, I've achieved my goal many years ago, and my career has expanded well beyond what I had imagined. I just think if you just do what you love, and not for the need of, for ego's sake. We all do it because we want attention.
Sure.
The reason
that's in there.
Yeah,
that's in there.
We do that. But when it becomes your sole motivator, and the passion for what you do is no longer there, then that's, I think, where it becomes frustrating. But those that are determined are going to do it anyway. It doesn't matter what it is that you do. Ain't that right? Ain't that right, Leon? Yes, that's what I said.
Your cousin Grip also came up with you, and when Rare Experience started dissolving a little bit, you guys kind of took over Atlanta in terms of handling a lot of the acts there.
Yeah, it was amazing. LaFace Records, like I said, the best thing we could have done was listen to that attorney that said, you guys need to move here while they're building the foundation of this and grow within the city. And it's the best thing we've ever done. So when LaFace Records moved here, we had our own band here called Project 1990. And a lot of those cats, including my cousin, we still use in a lot of gigs. We formed our own band. And our drummer knew a young lady who was the an assistant to Left Eye for TLC at the time, and she said, "They girls are going out on tour with Bobby Brown and want to use a band. I've been telling them about you all." And we had already started putting a couple of their tunes in our show with our arrangements, and that's what made us special. We would play your record,
Yeah.
but it was about all the other ingredients we can put in the gumbo to make it good, to make it our own.
Yeah. Yeah.
Which made us stand out.
Yeah.
It wasn't as just us up there getting instruments for Christmas and then going out after we get off from work at FedEx or wherever, UPS, and then going to play a gig. No.
Yeah.
We ate by this.
Yeah.
And it wasn't a lot of eating.
Well, let's talk about that, because when you came to Atlanta, it wasn't easy.
Oh God, no. See, were you in the band and I didn't know it? What happened here?
No, but I know you went through a rough period. Where
we first moved here. We moved here in January of 1983. We were determined to move. Yeah. Because we had been planning. I graduated high school in 1980. Yeah. And we've been planning to move after that, but of course, let's stack a little bit more money so we'll be okay trying to get in a new city. We knew we were going to move. Yeah. So, but it took a couple of years. Yeah. We kept putting it off. And one day we just, let's go. We got enough to make the move. They found us a house. Yeah. The people that brought us here to record, they had found us a house to rent. We had enough to do our thing. We used to do a club out by the airport in Pittsburgh called Freddie's Lounge every Wednesday. We played the gig, packed up, and said we got enough. Yeah. We got enough money. Yeah. Let's leave now. Yeah. Called my mom and said we're gonna make the move tonight. So I'm gonna come home. We're gonna start getting everything together, and at 6 in the morning, something crazy. We're gonna start making rounds to everybody's house, getting beds, clothing, the whole 9 yards. Yeah. We had a 22-foot
U-Haul or something.
Truck that we had owned, and there was more than enough room in there. Yeah. We had a bad alternator on it. And if you know anything about the North and Pittsburgh, coming up off those 3 rivers, the winters can be extremely brutal coming through the mountains of West Virginia. Yeah. So when we got here, we came down, the house wasn't ready. Yeah. We wound up sleeping, sneaking in the crystals, sleeping in the bathroom where there was heat. Yeah. We didn't know anybody, that a band that large could go in and
stay in their place.
Yeah, we couldn't take a hotel. So it was pretty rough, but focused. Yeah. Focused. Yeah. We come from Pittsburgh. We made a little bit better than this. We can do this. Yeah. And 37 years later, I'm still here. You know what I'm saying?
Here's the thing: is a lot of people would have turned around.
Absolutely, and we've lost a few that have gone on to go back home. Yeah. Because we brought road crew and everybody. Yeah. And but those cats, they weren't made for it, and which is understandable. Nobody's mad. We're still friends. Yeah. And that's what it was that I think has been helpful for me along with my musical journey, is that those same people are still what they were in the beginning. Yeah. Friends. Yeah. Brothers and sisters. Yeah. Love it.
Yeah. You got picked up for TLC.
Right. Project 19. We got picked up. We did the audition. They were blown up. We had a gig that night at a club here in Atlanta, and we asked the other bands. He said, we got a gig tonight. You all mind if we go first so we can get over to the club, get set up? And no problem. Girls came in. We did our arrangements of what we were doing. We started tearing down. Yeah. We could hear the bands in the other rooms next door. They'd go in there and listen to them.
Auditioning. Mm-hmm. Okay.
And we went to the club. When we got to the club, the girl, Denise, she was at the door waiting on us. I'm like, aren't you supposed to be back there with the... Yeah. She said, I'm sorry, I couldn't hold it. You guys got the gig.
Oh, wow.
She said, she's jumping up and down. I'm like, okay, let's go.
Yeah.
Didn't hit us until after we finished the gig, then we just started screaming.
Yeah.
because they, like I said, they were one of our favorite groups. It was on that level coming out of Atlanta. That meant something really huge for us.
Yeah,
and I just never looked back after that.
Yeah, but before we move on too much from that, though, your Project 1990, you guys were playing this whole scene, right?
Mm-hmm.
Atlanta. Tell me about those venues. Tell me about the places that you, whether they're still around or not. What are those venues that you played here?
I think one of them is still around. It was a club over in Decatur called Chit Chats.
Okay.
And that was the club we were playing at the night that we got the gig with TLC.
Okay.
The bands we would try to time our sets so they can come over. Everything is pretty close by.
Okay.
Bands would try to
go check each other out.
Yeah.
Okay.
Check out what we were doing, because, like I said, we did our own spin on a whole bunch of stuff that I don't know if anybody else were afraid to do, but we had our own identity, and we saw that. Yeah. Our vision was us on stage at Wembley Stadium. That was our pinnacle to reach. That was where we, no matter whether it was Chit Chat, so that's how we performed.
Yeah.
One of the things, the characteristics of our band was because we never played for people, as strange as that may sound. We played for each other. We excited each other when we were playing. Musically. And people saw that. And that's how they got excited. My father always told me, nobody will enjoy what you're doing until you enjoy what you're doing. If you out there looking like, I don't want to do this, no matter how good you are, nobody's going to take interest. That looks interesting because he looks excited about
They can tell.
Playing football, playing music, or whatever the case may be. He's passionate. He or she is passionate about what they're doing, and that's where it stuck. TLC
kept you busy for a while, and that was in the family of the LaFace.
We got that. The next thing I know, I get a call from L.A. Reid and goes, got a new girl coming out. Can you put me a band together? I like what you all did with TLC. The band got it together. It was pretty good. Then the project just got pushed back for a couple of years. Wound up being pushed back for a couple of years for whatever reasons on their end. I went on to do Silk.
Okay.
After that, and because they had been friends of ours for years before they got their deal, and they always come to the club, Chit Chats, and go, man, when we make it, y'all gonna be our band, and they held their word to it, and I'm still with them to this day, still working with them 20 plus years down the line. We went over to Tony. Tony went to, I think, was it Usher next? I think it was Usher. Then to Goody Mob. And pretty much all of the LaFace family. That I was a part of. Pretty much.
It's a big family.
It was a big family, and which I enjoyed. The music was great. It was an era, and that music's still timeless to me.
Oh, for sure.
I knew years ago they brought a kid up from Columbus, Georgia, and a friend of mine said, "Man, we found the next wizard." He said, "Man, this cat reminds me so much of you. It's ridiculous. I want you to meet this cat." I said, "Man, cool, bring him by the studio. We'll check him out." He came, he's pretty quiet. He watched what was going on. He asked a lot of questions, which I thought was great, because that's how I learned to engineer. I sat back and watched, because I didn't want to be disrespectful to the guys with always asking questions. I'd watch what they were doing, and then when I get a moment, I saw you do such and such a thing earlier. Why did you do that? Or what did that do? I heard the difference, but what did you do to get the difference? So that young man wound up being Dallas Austin.
Oh, okay.
And been friends ever since.
Oh, very nice.
Who was,
It's made an impact.
And absolutely. He was definitely that fourth member of TLC that made that all happen. Okay. So that was cool. Dallas was putting a group together on LaFace called Highland Place Mobsters.
Oh, wow.
Which was absolutely one of my favorite records.
Okay.
Still to this day.
Nice.
That is one of the best records that a lot of people don't know about.
Wow.
But those that do know that is phenomenal.
Very cool. Very cool. Tell me how you progressed there, but I know that you spent quite a bit of time with SOS. Where did they come into the picture? During that time, I was doing Usher, and
Well, it started back a long time ago. The founding member, Jason Bryant, for years would come around to hear my band play.
Yeah.
They always called me Captain Kirk. Captain, man, you need to come on over here with SOS. Man, well, I got a band. I want, you know, being loyal. We moved here together. We made a sacrifice. I'm not going to walk away and then where do they go from there? These are my friends. This is my family. I can't do that. He understood, but he was still tugging. So he tugged and tugged and tugged for years. So here's a thought. A guy that I used with me to increase the band for Holland Place Mobsters and Tony Braxton, a lot of the LaFace stuff that I was doing. My buddy Sam, he was playing with SOS. He said, man, barbecue, we need another keyboard player. And if you want it, gig pays X. Okay, well, yeah. This is after my band, The Rare Experience, had disbanded.
Okay.
So we get there, and it was, once again, as a kid, one of my favorite bands. Their biggest hit, Take Your Time, Do It Right.
Yeah.
That was the hottest song the summer I graduated high school.
Oh, okay.
And so, never thinking about 20 years later, that's part of my family. That's part of the people that I love and grew up just being a part of. That's the amazing part about it. So, wound up getting in SOS, and I was doing the TLCs and all of that stuff at the time. I was doing Usher when I got hired with SOS band. And I said, man, y'all, the old school thing was coming back. I said, what y'all gonna need to do is mix the old school, new school. Yeah. And what everyone is doing, you know, they're about the live musicianship, which I understand. Yeah. I said, but you're gonna get left if you don't adapt to the ways of, you know, so we started using sequencers and stuff. Outside of the fact of not doing their own background, the sound got bigger. Yeah. So that they stood out a lot more. Yeah. On the comeback scene for the old school acts because we were consistent every night. Boom, 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 boom. We was killing. And 20-something years later, I'm still there. Still working with those guys. Yeah, man. Tell me about getting involved in United We Funk. Through SOS. Yeah. I was out. We did something for Usher on, I think You Make Me Wanna was the song out there, and we were doing a lot of the TV stuff out in LA. In the meantime, Rauf, leader of SOS band, he said, man, we're doing this thing that's large. It's really big, man. It's Charlie Wilson. Well, Charlie came in later. Yeah. I knew about what they were doing. They were recording the recorded end of the United Funk stuff. He said it was Roger Troutman, SOS band, Confunction, Daz band, and the Barcades out of Memphis. And right at that time, when I got home from that trip doing that stuff with Usher, the news that Roger was killed and was no longer part of that package because of the, you know, of course, because of that. But it was still going on, and they were putting Charlie Wilson from the Gap band in that slot. Yeah. So you got to do it. Okay, well, I got this tour with, I couldn't do it because I'm touring. I'm about to do this tour with Usher. We're opening for Mary J. Blige. Boom, 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 boom. Yeah. Couldn't do it. Okay, we'll get Wiley Morris, who with in that spot, who was playing with me with SOS at the time. He went in, wound up writing a few tunes for him, and has Grammys and hit records with Charlie now as a producer. So it's crazy how a lot of this stuff goes around. That went down, and Michael Perrin, Charlie's manager, came over to Ralph kept pitching. He said, man, I got the guy, man. If you think Wiley can go, he said, man, I got this guy who can come in and do it. They sent me a CD of the show. My first rehearsal with United We Funk was sound check on a gig. And I pulled it off like I had been there the whole time because like I grew up with this stuff. So I was going to say, these are some of your heroes. These are my heroes, man. I want to do that proud. They need to look at me like this cat really, has brought respect to the gang because he's out here giving us stuff. And Michael Perrin, after a few shows, you know, everybody likes what I'm doing, and he goes, "We get a moment. Charlie would like to talk to you." So we got 5 acts with United We Funk.
Right.
So we would do 2 weeks on as United We Funk, and then 2 weeks within your respective bands.
Every one of those bands would go out and do their thing
do their
in between.
things, yes.
Okay.
And that was so cool. I'm like, so man, we got a gig. We need a keyboard player. Can you do it? Well, I got a gig with SOS Friday.
Okay.
Can you? Well, our gig is Saturday. Can you do it? So it was that type of thing. We'll fly you. Where you playing at?
Yeah.
Okay, we'll fly you out to such and such a place. Respect.
Yeah.
I can't ask for anything better, man.
Yeah.
When your heroes respect what you do,
Right.
and that's the best feeling in the world.
Well, and every one of those bands were influential when you're
When
coming
I was
up.
growing up, covering all of that stuff.
I was going to say, you probably didn't have a lot to learn coming into that. You already knew the music.
Yeah, it was just a matter of the arrangements that they
Sure.
use now. But anything with somebody making even their own stuff even more exciting, that excited me. So I hunkered down for a couple of weeks, went in, did the gig, no rehearsals.
So that tour, United We Funk, it was 2 weeks on, 2 weeks off sort of thing for a while. And it was one big band pulling from all those acts.
22 people on stage at a time, at one time.
And
massive.
And so you had a core band that stayed there for all of these artists.
That was the Barcades band, the core band for them. When Charlie came in, he wanted to use a couple of pieces that he was comfortable with, with his band.
Yeah.
So that kept adding on to people. Billy Young came in on synth bass, and I would just move the keys. We shared the same rig. We would just play the whole show. 2.5 hours of nothing but hits.
Nothing but hits for 2.5 hours.
And Matt, when I tell you, you was standing on the railroad tracks and you just standing there going, I know the train's coming. Get out the way. No, this is a good train.
Yeah.
And you stood there and you took the impact because it was it's one of the best things that I've ever done in my career.
Yeah. And no letting up with that set list, just hit after hit.
People were exhausted after we were finished playing because it's 2.5 hours straight. There's no changeover of bands.
Yeah.
It's just hit after hit after hit.
Unbelievable. Progressing from some of those things, you ended up working for all those bands coming out of United We Funk, here and there, getting called to play and juggling. You got to juggle because everybody takes breaks. That's the thing that happens.
Right.
So, what was something that followed that in terms of a new artist or something?
I'm trying to think, when was United We Funk? And I think New Edition came about afterwards.
Yeah.
Well, we had done the tour with Usher.
Yeah.
I was doing the tour with Usher, with Mary J. Blige. New Edition was about to go to Japan, and I guess the keyboard player that Derek had called, they were working together with Tina Marie. He said, "Oh man, bruh man ain't got his passports is expired.
Yeah.
Don't have enough time to get it. You have a valid passport?" I said, "Yeah." He said, "You want to go to Japan? When? How long?
Yeah.
2 weeks. How much? Yeah. With who? New Edition. Yeah, I'll do it. Get on the plane.
Going to Tokyo.
Going to Tokyo.
Yeah.
First gig with New Edition. I'm nervous. And once again, there's another one of those shows where the sound check is my rehearsal.
That's your rehearsal. Unbelievable.
And
in front of how many people?
Was it Budokan that we played at Budokan?
Several thousand.
Yeah, there was quite a few folks.
Yeah.
Quite a few folks.
You
So
rehearsing
I'm
that
nervous.
sound check. Yeah.
But made it.
Yeah.
And so, I mean, I thanked them for the opportunity. I thought it was just an opportunity to go and fill in that gig. Hey, man, we got a gig coming up, such and such a date. Are you available?
Yeah.
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 Okay. That was 17 years ago. Still,
Still working with those guys.
Still working with those guys.
Yeah.
And respect. I appreciate any and everyone that's given me an opportunity to do what I do and bring life to their dreams and their achievements. Can't ask for anything better than that little kid from Aliquippa. Come on, man.
Yeah.
Didn't know where he was going, just a little skinny little runt. But
yeah. Stuck with it. Stuck with it through thick and thin.
50-something years later, I'm still at this and still relevant within the industry to some degree.
Absolutely. So, like I mentioned before, all of these acts take breaks, which is sometimes it hurts, but it's like gives you an opportunity to go do something else. And sometimes it works where you can work for several of these at the same time, but because of that, sometimes you got to turn some stuff down. What do you think you've had to turn down? Who have you turned down, and who do you wish that you hadn't turned down?
Well,
any of that?
Me and my cousin Grip's motto was always say yes to everyone, say no to no one.
Okay.
And that's how we lived it, and it just worked out.
Now, did you and Grip ever cover each other on some of those things?
No,
never had to do.
That's funny. We always worked either separately or as a team.
Okay.
I don't think did he call me in the cover for? No.
No,
I don't think it was.
I thought maybe y'all worked them out to cover each other when you couldn't, pull something off.
No, he was always working. I was working. I said, after we left TLC, like you said, in between records and tours and stuff, he wound up going to Keith Sweat, and was Keith Sweat's music director for years.
Yeah.
He also did a lot of work with Jermaine Dupri at So So Def, which was the other Atlanta label. So between LaFace Records, which was me, and him at So So Def, we had the two major hot labels in Atlanta, and their acts covered. Yeah. For years.
Yeah.
And I'm like, we never looked at it that way, but that's really what it was.
Looking
so
back,
that's what a who says that? Who?
Yeah.
I mean, I know a lot of cats. I don't know a lot of cats that just go, man, we covered this city.
Yeah.
And a lot of major
acts, major tours.
Yeah, man.
What do you think followed some of that stuff? When?
Okay, the New Edition stuff, I got that, and so that was even better.
Yeah.
Now I got 3 other acts, 4 within a group.
Sure. Yeah.
To like United We Funk.
Yeah.
To start the spin-off.
Yeah.
So you got New Edition, you got BBD.
Yeah.
You got Johnny Gill, you have Bobby Brown.
Yeah. They're all doing their own thing, and then they come together once in a while.
When they do, the New Edition, they're together. So it's not like I've separated from them. So now I'm doing it, all of those guys.
Yeah.
My SOS. Who else was? Probably a ton of other folks.
Yeah, sure.
And juggling that, like I said, I stayed busy, and I stayed going a lot.
Yeah.
And sacrificed the family for that, but they still love me. But what I think I've given them is an example to push towards your dreams.
Yeah.
There's nothing, you can do it. I don't want them to make the same mistakes in sacrificing family for it.
Yeah.
And in fact, I just welcomed my 6th grandchild yesterday.
Oh, nice. Wow. Congratulations.
Yesterday,
wow.
Mm-hmm.
So in that role of playing for your heroes and stuff like that, and playing for events and working for events and things that you grew up on, tell me about doing the Soul Train Awards.
Oh, wow. Let me tell you something. That was God all the way. Had just bought a new house, and living life, nothing. I'm a million. Yeah, I tell folks I'm $1 million shy of being a millionaire. And that's the real part about it. So I worked to keep mine, keep a roof over my head. So we're out one weekend. I won't mention the act.
Yeah.
And had been out for a few weeks, some fly days, but it was just basically the weekend.
You were touring steadily, bought a new house, knowing I got work, I'm touring, I'm busy.
Yeah, everything's good.
No problem.
So come midweek, we still haven't gotten flight information for the next weekend. The band's calling me, have you heard from, about any? I said, I haven't heard anything. Let me start making some phone calls, because it is Wednesday.
Yeah.
And normally we would have this information. And make a long story longer.
Go ahead. That's
We finally get manager on the phone. He said, "Man, are the guys still doing the gig this weekend?" He said, "Yeah." "Are they using the band?" "Yeah." Well, we didn't get we haven't gotten any information.
Yeah.
And as I'm saying, we haven't gotten any.
Yeah.
Okay, well, let me ask you this. Are you using this band?
Yeah.
Well, the guys thought they wanted to move in a different direction. Well, in the middle of the week is a fine time to tell me, man.
And you had to call them. They didn't call you to tell you.
And we, they're ducking and dodging, and that wasn't cool. It was a bad.
Yeah.
That was a bad move on their part.
Yeah.
No love lost, but it put me in a bind. I almost lost my home. So one day I'm sitting there doing all of this,
trying to
make it make sense.
Yeah.
So I said, you know what? I'm gonna let go, let God do what He do. I open my laptop. I'm on Facebook, and I get a message on there from a friend of mine I hadn't talked to in years. He said, "Man, yeah, we exchanged pleasantries and pie." And he said, "Man, Bernard's trying to reach you." Now, Bernard at the time, when I knew Bernard, he was the road manager for Goody Mob.
Okay.
I said, "Oh, man, I ain't talked to Bernard since we finished the last tour." He said, "Yeah, man, here's his number. He wants you to reach out to him." So I called Bernard, and he goes, we exchanged pleasantries because I hadn't talked to him in a while. He goes, "Man, well, look here, this is what I'm looking for you for. They're bringing the Soul Train Awards back, and they're going to be filming in Atlanta." And he goes, "Well, they're looking to use a house band. Well, tell me what you need." I got my hand on pretty much everybody in the city. The cash is moving and shaking. Still haven't put two and two together. He said, "Well, if you can put a band together," I said, "Yeah, I'll start looking around, see what you need, blah, blah, blah." Tell me what they were looking for.
Yeah.
He said, "But we need a music director." He said, "Well, yeah, we got 3 names. We got Jude, Phil Davis, and Grip."
Yeah.
"What? Me?"
Yeah.
I said, "Oh, that's nice. I appreciate it,
Yeah.
I said, even not that. I said, I'd be a sideman. I don't have to be a leader, in that aspect. That would be an honor for me to come in and do that." He said, No. He said, "You're trying to be too humble." He said, "What they want you to be the music director."
Okay. So he was calling you to offer it to you. He was just telling you the names that they had in mind, but you were at the top of the list.
Yeah,
they had already decided.
And he was like, "Are you willing to do it?" I'm like, "Yeah."
Yeah.
And, I didn't tell him where, I was financially becoming strapped.
Yeah.
And I needed something to...
Came at the right time.
Absolutely. Once again, like I said, it was God.
Yeah. So you did that for a while, though.
Yeah, and that, I thought it was just for that, next year. Well, after we finished, they said, it's the crazy part. After we finished, they said, well, we like to contract this. We have the contract for the next 3 years.
Nice.
We like for you to come back and do it. Man, you don't have to say, "I'm here. I'll be here tomorrow when they open the place." And I know it's not the next year, but I'll be here. I'll be on time.
Exactly.
And the guitar player is a friend of mine who's a part of the band with Project 1990 with me.
Yeah.
And we did TLC and countless other acts. I hired him to do the Soul Train Awards.
Yeah.
I said, "Man, this is great." I said, "Man, we had so much fun."
Yeah.
I said, "Man, I got this thing for the next 3 years.
Yeah.
It's your gig if you want to come." He said, "Man, I'm here."
Yeah.
And then he goes, "And I got something for you too, if you want to do it right after this." I said, "Oh yeah." He said, "Man, they asked me to put a band together for this new artist."
Yeah.
"Who's the act?" He said, "Man, some little young kid out of Canada. He's this big YouTube sensation."
Yeah.
He said, "Have you ever heard of this kid named Justin Bieber?" No. But anyways, some work.
Yeah.
He said, "Man, go to YouTube and check him out."
Yeah.
He has millions upon millions of hits per video.
Right.
Not collectively, per video. 10, 11 million hits.
Yeah. Yeah.
I come in to do the audition, put it that way.
For Justin.
For Justin.
Yeah.
And I brought my keyboard in, brought the backing tracks to play to. Nothing major. I can do the gig. And I knew there were some other musicians coming in to do an audition.
Yeah.
And I said, do I need to move my rig out the way for whoever else? I said, no. Why would you need to do that? We're going to need you to play with the bass player and the drummers that are coming in.
Yeah.
I said, well, you don't have any other keyboard players. No, you got the gig.
You thought you were auditioning, and
I thought I had the gig.
Oh.
Come to find out, the tour manager, Tom Marzullo, was from Pittsburgh.
Yeah. Yeah.
So it was just crazy how the kinship happened, just because, and it wasn't because it was I was able to cut the job. But,
yeah.
But that was a bonding area for us there. And he said, oh, you got the gig, you ain't got to go nowhere.
Yeah.
You in.
Yeah. Very cool. And with Justin for a good while,
6 years.
Awesome. Mm-hmm. And you were in the documentary movie.
Both of them.
Yeah, very cool.
What?
Never Say Never.
Never Say Never and Believe.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So that was cool. I'm getting ready for my Oscar. I've been, I still got to save my speech.
Yeah, exactly.
But,
yeah.
They ain't called me yet. But
they ain't called you yet. Okay. Well, I want to talk about food. I like to talk about food.
I love food.
With everybody, and you, since you cook and things like that too. So on the road, when you get an opportunity, you like to get everybody together and do some cooking.
Absolutely. Yeah. When we TLC, everybody would put in $5 each.
Yeah.
And we get one of those hotels that was a suite and you had the kitchen there.
Yeah.
I go to the store, take the menu, and everybody in the hotel knocking on your door because the smell is all the way down to the elevator.
Yeah. What do you got going on in there? Because you can cook, makes you a little pickier when you go out to eat. But
no, I'm greedy.
Oh, you really?
Oh, yeah, I'm greedy.
Well, because I like to ask everybody what their favorite stops are, what places they got to have. Maybe some of the stuff when you go back to Pennsylvania, things like that. Is there any place that you got to go to?
Well, there's a place with some of the worst pizza ever in my lifetime.
Okay.
I call it. But it's just that you've grown and you've had better.
Yeah.
But Breezy's Pizza back home is that stop you have to make.
You got to make it.
Yes.
Okay.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Okay.
If you would say favorite, when I want to get out of the house and get some people in my system, I go around the corner to Taco Mat, get me some wings and a beer, and sit around and people watch.
Oh, nice.
I like getting that energy from, just people.
Tell me about the wings. Tell me what you got. Tell me about you making wings. You ever make wings?
Oh, absolutely.
Okay. Tell me about that.
It depends on what I'm in the mood for.
Okay.
Nowadays, if it ain't nailed to the floor, I'm going to put it in my smoker. Okay. So, you better not be close to me when I'm smoking meat.
And if it's crawling, there's a good chance. It could go.
It's going up there. Wings I can either do fried, but nowadays I don't do a lot of fried foods because of health reasons.
Yeah.
So I'll smoke my wings and maybe dip them in the fryer for a few minutes, and then that's when I'll choose my sauces. I'm going, I got a jar of honey and a big bottle of hot sauce.
Yeah.
Smoked honey garlic wings.
There you go.
Yeah.
Well, I want to ask you a couple other fun things,
Sure.
but I want to ask you if there's anybody else that we, that I didn't bring up, that we didn't mention, that we didn't talk about. I mean,
gosh.
your list is long, so I know there's a lot of artists we never covered.
Oh, right. There's a big thank you for everyone that's been a part of my career.
Yeah.
And from those that we've mentioned, from the new additions, the Charlie Wilsons, the Justin Biebers, TLCs.
Yeah.
We'll go back and cover a group that LaFace was trying to put together at the time. The group was called Choice. So they developing all this stuff, so they want to do a showcase on the group to see what's happening. It was the material was good. It was very good, I thought. The girls could sing. It was a 3-girl group.
Yeah.
And but there was one singer that stood out, and I know that everyone knew it.
Yeah.
Because that artist today is Pink.
Ah.
Yeah. So
cool.
she came from a group called Choice that they were trying to put together. So, been a part of a lot of things that had come off the ground, a lot of things that didn't.
Right.
But the list goes. I go. Oh, I forgot about so and so.
Yeah.
Don't mean to. It's just I'm getting older.
Yeah. But you've kept moving and you've stayed busy, and so
the old school. We're talking about Gap Band, Barcades, Confunction, SOS, Brick, New Edition, Johnny, BBD, Bobby,
Outkast,
Goody Mob, Usher. Well, like I said, I was pretty much the resident music director for LaFace Records. I did everybody. There was Tony Braxton. Everyone there. Gosh. Oof. And like I said, there's still a lot of it. We got Beiber. There's so much other stuff that that plays a part in me being sane. Because that's my, like I said, that's my outlet. And like I said, we run the circle together. With some of these acts. Fantasia was always one that I really, really, really wanted to work with. But I got a chance to. I think she's such an incredible talent, such a wonderful person. And I would just, you want to be a part of that magic every time it happens. And that's a wonderful thing. I've come across tons and tons and tons of phenomenal musicians that I've been happy to be in a part of their startup career, able to give an opportunity to branch out to do even better than me.
Viewers, if you look up anything live, YouTube and otherwise, if you look up live events with a lot of the acts that we mentioned that you talked about, good chance that you're going to see Wizard in those videos.
Yes. I get more videos every day that come in to me, man. Who took this? Well,
Wizard, thank you so much for doing this. We'll post your Instagram. People can follow you and see what's going on.
Facebook.
They can see you in all those videos, live videos online and things like that. So from Atlanta, thanks so much for doing this. Appreciate it.
I appreciate you and Leon having me. And please, anytime. If you're in the city, or I'm sure sooner or later we're going to run across each other.
Absolutely, we'll hit it.
Because it's about to get busy, man.
I think so. I think so. He is.
So this is the part where y'all treat me to dinner.
Absolutely, man.
Okay,
we're about to hit it.
The hot dog stand.
Hot dog stand after all that talk.
Oh man, yeah. Okay. Ain't nothing like a good hot dog all over. Wherever.
Hey, well, you got to tell us where to go. All right. Well, thanks so much. We're going to sign off. Thanks so much, everybody. Thank you. Thanks so much for watching. If you enjoyed the episode, please give us a thumbs up, and we welcome your comments. Check out more of the Road Dog Project here on YouTube, and follow on Facebook, TikTok, Instagram, and Twitter. Come on, Leon.